Alright, so I'm probably about 3 months late to getting these reviews out. And that's because when you go to Comic Con, you come home with way too many toys. Or at least you're supposed to if you did Comic Con right. And then the second you get home, more toys are dropping as you're literally driving home from the show. So when that happens, it takes a while to get caught up, which is good. Because you don't want to come home and have like 100 figures and open them all in 2 days, and then you're just sitting there twiddling your thumbs, running to Target looking for more. So take your time opening them. 3 months, that might be a bit excessive. So here we have the Xenomorph, which is basically, it's the new Alien from the old movie, which is actually the new movie. So either way, it's a brand new mold, looks awesome. We're going to check them out. The Neomorph, this is the one I was looking forward to the most because he's really going to stand out on the shelf. And it's nice to have aliens on your shelf that don't look like every other alien. So he is actually really cool. And then you have the creature pack. Lots of cool shit in this. Definitely looking forward to this. We're going to check them all out in one video. Try to go through it pretty quick. Save a little time at the end for the alien collection because after these things get on the shelf, it's gonna make a little bit tighter up there and it's gonna look awesome. So let's check them out. Okay, first off, we'll start with scale. We have this little guy, like the first little chest burster alien. I thought he was pretty awesome. He's about 1.5 inches tall. Then you have this guy right at about 3 inches. And this guy here about 6.5. And then this thing is massive. It's like over 9 inches tall. Really digging that. Then you have the 2 eggs down here right at about 4 inches. Let's start with this egg. First off, yes, it's just like a big hollow piece of plastic. But this big hollow piece of plastic is sculpted amazing. It's an original sculpt. And it's painted really well. So if you're thinking, well, it's probably just a reissue of the one they already did. No, NECA doesn't get down like that. So here's the old one that you already have. You can see that it's totally different, a totally different design. And I really love the fact that they take the time to do shit like this because there's a lot of other toy companies out there, especially one that does, I don't know, Marvel characters. They would never go the extra mile and do something cool like this. And then if you take the open one, also really well done. This is the old open one. I mean, look at this. Like, both of these toys are just amazing. Like, they're really killing it. Like, and then you're like, well, the face hugger's probably the same. No, it's not. That's also a brand new sculpt. So these people, this NECA, man, I tell you what, like, just make more toys. That's all I can ask. Just make more toys. And toys I'm into, because you guys make some weird stuff too that I'm not really digging, but aliens figures, shit like this, man, I am really feeling it. Like 2 totally different sculpts. So for you guys out there that were wondering, are aliens guys, girls, mix? What are they? Well, come on guys, if you haven't figured it out by now, they're girls. You tell me. Just look at the obvious here. So does this look like a guy alien to you? Let's be real here, guys. I'm sure you found it by now, or God, I hope you have. Either way, there's the eggs, there's the face hugger. Then we'll start with the first chest burst alien right here. Now this was weird in the movie. Like, this thing came from like dust, which is really weird. But I thought the alien was awesome. I love how he came out. Instant killer, really badass, and then he pretty much instantly grew up to this thing, and then he was even more badass. Now you take this thing, or let's go back to this thing, because you're thinking, oh, maybe they'll rip us off. No, this thing actually has articulation. Like, it actually has joints in it. Like, the head turns. I think it turns. Maybe it doesn't, but the legs definitely move. This thing is fully articulated with the head. Head is on a ball. Arms move. Legs move, and the tail actually has wire in it. So they weren't cheap at all with that. Like, they're really killing it with this line. And then this guy grows up to be this guy. He comes with 2 different heads. This is another thing that if you see it on clearance, definitely going to pick an extra one up because I'd love to display this with both heads. This head to me is definitely cooler than this head. That weird butthole mouth that just, I don't know, man. That it kind of takes this cool away for sure. And then if you look at this thing up close, it's really awesome. Tons of detail. Once again, a one-of-a-kind original sculpt. The articulation on this thing is great. The head is on like a ball, like down here in the neck. You can pull that off, put the other one on. Well, heck, you can just see right here how it's articulated. So pretty cool for sure. The shoulders are kind of like on a ball. The weird elbow there, it almost feels like it's going to break off, but it's definitely cool. The wrists have that hinge, which is really hidden, and it turns. Has an ab crunch, which I love this ab crunch, how they did it up in the rib cage. And this is the only thing that I don't like about this figure. So like, if you like turn these things out, you get these big giant white ball joints, and that kind of ruins the toy for me. So if you turn it down, display it like this, then it actually looks pretty cool. The knees are cool, turns right here. Like, this is the shit that I wish other toy companies are doing. Instead of having the thigh cut up here, you can accomplish it right here. So it's like a single knee, but then you have a swivel here. Really digging that articulation. The feet on this thing has a pivot. You can't even tell that it has a pivot. Really done well, and has a hinge and articulated toy. So they are definitely killing it with this thing. And then on this big guy, we'll pull out some other ones for a comparison. Okay, so I lied to you. So before we check out this big alien, let's kind of go over this like chest burst alien thing, because I'm just a little confused on the whole thing. So basically, they started out like this. Pretty cool. Kind of looks like a worm or a slug or something. Just something different. I can see it starting out slow. Kind of cool. Totally get it. And then from there, they went to this guy. And then I was like, damn, that thing is awesome. Like, I'm really digging this thing. Like, this thing is just pure evil. Just comes out a killer. And then from that, they went to this. Which, you know, when this thing popped out of that dude's chest, like, it looked a little weird, and you were like, wait a second, what's going on here? That's just like a full-blown alien right there, which I love this toy. And I thought it was cool in the movie. It just didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but it is awesome. So they went from this, and then they went all the way back down to this. So I don't get it. And so you start with this, you end up with this, you go to this, and then you get back to this. Ah, fuck it, man. I just love aliens. Who cares? I can't figure this shit out. So this time, let's check him out. Alright, so whenever you get aliens, you're always kind of look at him. You're like, God, you already got that guy? Is that like the same mold? Or is that the same one but slightly painted different? Do you already have that alien? Do I need another one? Well, this kind of breaks it down. I just grabbed just a couple random figures. And as you see, these things are all totally different action figures. So, yeah, just keep buying them, man. If you see them, you accidentally buy 2, who cares? There was more than 2 in the movie. So whenever they make one and you don't know if it's a repaint or not, or a reissue, it doesn't really matter. Just keep buying them, because the more you have, the better your collection looks. Alright, you've waited long enough. Okay, so here he is, brand new mold, awesome paint, really good sculpt. This thing is just freaking awesome. I love the clear like shell on here, done really nice. The mouth goes all the way in, it closes, really cool. So you have the option if you want to display it like this. This is probably the longest like inside mouth thing that I've seen so far. Really well done. The paint job on this thing, like it almost looks transparent. It looks so cool. Like that glossy paint that they use to like dry brush this thing with is just freaking amazing. The detail on this thing, like, it's just unreal. Like, you look at toys today, and like, I mean, there's not a lot of people out there really giving a shit. And then you get a toy like this that, like, it's just like, it's like a work of art. Like, this thing is truly amazing. The articulation is pretty much exactly the same as the white one that I already showed you, so we're not going to go over that. I just wanted to show you how well this toy was done and how much fun it is to collect aliens, because who else is making toys like this? Like, this thing is amazing. It's just really cool. Of course, it has wire in the tail. I mean, even the little ones have wire in the tail. Here he is. The toys are amazing. They're way better than the movie. I'm sure you've already seen the movie. If you haven't seen anyways, they're all pretty good. Of course, the old ones were better. Maybe someday they'll get back to that level. And in between now and then, maybe we'll get some more figures because I just can't get enough. This thing is amazing. Super fun line to collect. And speaking of lines, let's go ahead and show you the collection. Here's the Alien collection. Let me ask you guys a question. When you're watching a guy do toy reviews or collection videos or just anything about figures, and your collection is bigger than his, maybe he should be watching your videos. Because I don't understand guys that review toys that they don't collect. If you don't spend your money on this shit, how can you review it honestly? Like, if you just got like one, like if you're not totally invested, like if you don't have at least $1,000 in this Alien line, maybe you shouldn't be reviewing it. Let's check out the other half. Alright, so here's the other half of the Alien shelf. And like I was saying about guys that don't collect figures that review them, you can't really talk the talk if you haven't walked the walk. Don't tell me about figures that you don't collect. Don't tell me about figures that you haven't spent tons of money on. Because if you're not invested in these things, you probably shouldn't be reviewing them. Like always, guys, thanks for watching.